A pleasant good morning and welcome to our English class. How are you all students? Hope you are fine, relaxing beautifully, or enjoying with your parents. And of course, I believe that you will be respecting your parents' words and will not be wandering anywhere excepting sitting at home or doing your work alone. Well, during this pandemic period, we need to be careful. So don't be playful as children. See that you take care of your health, very, very important. We know the proverb, health is wealth. So unless we safeguard ourselves, we cannot achieve anything in our life. So if we lose the health, then we have to lose everything in our life. I pray that we all be safe and happy at home. Wish you all the best. Now I welcome you to the English class. Today I want to take about voice. Now what is voice? Voice is a form of a verb which shows whether what is denoted by the subject does something or has something done to the subject. Now what does it mean? In short, if the subject does something, for example, he eats food, he is the subject. So what does he do? He eats. So here the subject is doing the action of eating. That is one thing. The other thing that is happening is has something done. For example, food is eaten. Now here the food, something has happened to the food. So here we use the arrow mark for the subject which is doing the action. And the next one, here this arrow mark indicates that the subject is receiving the action. Next, when we speak about voice, we have two types of voice. One is active, the other one is passive. Now what does active mean? If the subject is the doer of the action, it is called active voice. Doer of the action, in other words, called as acts. If the subject acts, it is active voice. For example, the cat kills the rat. Here, the cat is doing the action, which is the subject. Hence, it is called active voice. Passive means if the subject is receiving the action, it is called passive voice. For example, the rat is killed by the cat. Here, the rat is receiving the action. Hence, it is called passive voice. So, active voice means doer of the action. Passive voice means receiver of the action. Another way of understanding active voice. Active means doing something. Here, subject, he. Now, what does he do? The verb is there. Kicks. The action done by him is kicking. Object, the ball. So, he kicks the ball. He is the subject, kicks is the verb, ball is the object. Now, if you want to change from active into passive, we need to have three elements: subject, verb, objects. Elements means things. So, three things must be there to change from active into passive. If there is no object, we cannot change the active into passive voice. Now, example for passive voice. Passive means receives the action. Subject, the ball, verb, he is kicked, the ball is kicked. Object, by him. So here the ball is kicked by him. Hence it is called passive voice. Here the ball is receiving the action or the subject is receiving the action. Hence it is called passive voice. Now when you go back to the tenses table, we know that there are 12 divisions in the tenses table. And of course, when you speak about tense, we mean time. Tense means time. Present time, past time, future time. That is present tense, past tense and future tense. Every tense you have got 4 divisions. Simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Next simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous. Then future, simple future, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. Though we have 12 divisions in the tenses table, when we want to change from active into passive, we can change from active into passive. Let us find out what are the rules to change from active to passive voice. The first rule says identify the elements. Elements means subject, verb, object. Find out first. Second rule says change the positions of subject, verb, object. That is reverse the object as subject, subject as the object. Third rule says identify the type of verb you have got. For example, here simple present. Next, fourth rule says find the relevant structure. Structure means design. How to change the verb into from active to passive. If it is simple present, then we need to have the structure singular plural plus past participle. So first do all these 4 steps, then write the answer to the passive form. So this is what you have to follow when you are changing from active to passive. Now the first one is a simple present. In simple present, he brings a book. If a sentence is given like this in the active voice, he is the subject, brings is the verb, a book is the object. So this is the first step we have to do. First we have to identify the subject, verb, object. In other words, the elements, the 3 elements we need for changing to passive. That we have to find out. That is the first step. The second step is change the subject into object. And again, change the object as subject. So first change the subject into object, then the object into subject. So that is what you have to do, which is the second step you have to follow. The third step is you have to find out what type of verb it is. Now here the word brings is simple present. So when you have the verb in simple present, then what is the structure to be followed to change from active to passive? So that is the third step you have to follow. The fourth step is you have to find the structure. Structure, singular plural plus past participle if the verb is in simple present. So that is the fourth step you have to follow. Next, fifth step is write the answer in the passive form. And the answer is a book is brought by him. So how did we get the answer? If we follow the structure, we can get the answer. So that is the fifth step you have to follow. Now here when you reduce the subject, a book, into the personal number, we get it. Book means it. So when we say it, it is the third person singular. So the verb has to be in singular. And that is how The structure is given. Singular or plural. Now since the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. The next one is we have to use the past participle. Now the past participle for the word brings is brought. Bring, brought, brought. Hence we get the answer in the passive voice as a book is brought by him. Another example of the same simple present. He sings a song. He is the subject, sings is the verb, a song is the object. That is the first step you have to follow. Identify the elements. Second step is change the positions of subject into object, object into subject. Then the third step is identify the verb. Now here the verb is sings. The verb sings is in the simple present. Then what is the structure to be followed? Singular plural plus past participle. So that is how you have to use the verb in the passive form. Let's find the answer in the passive form. A song is sung by him. When you say a song, it is the subject. And if reduce the subject, it becomes it, third person singular. So the verb again must be in singular. That's how the structure is given. The main verb has to be in past participle form. That is sing, sang, sung. Here, sung is the past participle of the verb sing. So the final answer for passive voice is a song is sung by him. Exercise. I'll give 5 sentences. Try to answer any 2. Sentence number 1, mother loves the child. Second sentence, everybody likes him. Third sentence, he buys fruits. Fourth sentence, they drink coffee. Fifth sentence, we draw pictures. 5 sentences into passive voice using in the simple present form. The verbs are in simple present form. Loves, likes, buys, drink, draw. All these verbs are in simple present form. So the model which I gave earlier, the 2 examples which I showed you, use those models and then change these sentences accordingly. Follow those 5 steps to get the answer. Next, simple past. The second division is simple past. He, subject, brought, verb. A book, object. He brought a book. So, subject is he, brought, verb, a book is the object. Now what is the next step? First we have to identify the elements. Second step is we have to change the positions of subject into object, or push the subject into the object place and then bring the object or make the object as the subject. That is the second step you have to follow. Next step, third step is you have to find out what type of verb it is. Find the verb. What is in simple past. So since the verb is in simple past, then what is the structure to be followed? The structure for simple past is singular plural plus past participle. Now the answer in the passive form is a book was brought by him. A book, when you reduce the subject into the personal number, we get it. Since the subject is singular, the verb must be in singular. It was. Then finally, the verb brought must be changed into past participle form. So even the past participle of the verb brought is brought only. Hence the answer is a book was brought by him. That is the passive form of the sentence given there. Next, another example for the same simple past. He, subject, sang, verb, a song, object. Now first thing is you have to identify the elements as I said. First find the subject, then the verb, then the object. That is the first step. The second step is change the positions of subject into object, object to subject place. That is the second step you have to follow. Next, the third step is you have to find out what type of verb it is. The verb here is sang. So the verb sang is in simple past. So if the verb is in simple past, then what is the structure to be followed? The structure has to be singular plural plus past participle. So the answer for the passive form is a song was sung by him. A song again is in singular. When you reduce that into the personal number, it becomes. So when the subject is singular, the verb has to be singular, it was. Then the past participle of the verb sang is sung. So the answer is a song was sung by him. We must always use by for the passive voice. Next, here is an exercise for you for the simple past. She told a story. He helped a beggar. We won the match. The teacher praised the students. Shakespeare wrote many dramas. So here the verbs told, helped, won, praised, wrote, all these are in simple past. So change these active sentences into passive form using the previous example which I showed you. Third division is a simple future. He is subject, will bring, verb, a book, object. So the first step is find the subject, the verb, then the object. Next, the second step is change the positions of subject into object, object as subject. That is the second step you have to do. Then the third step is you have to find the verb. The verb here is in simple future. Since it is simple future, we have the structure singular plural plus be plus past participle. So the passive form answer is a book will be brought by him. So here it, when you reduce the subject as personal number, it becomes it. So when you have third person singular, we have to use will. Second and third persons, you have to use will. First person subject, we have to use the shall. And here singular plural, it will be as given in the structure. Be, use the same be there. Next, brought, bring, brought. That is the past participle of the verb bring. So hence there is a book will be brought by him. Next, another example for the same simple future. Simple future, another example. He, subject, will sing, verb, a song, object. So subject, verb, object. That is the first step we have to take into when a sentence is given in the active voice. Next, the second step is change the positions of subject into object, object as subject. That is the second step we have to do. Then third step we have to follow is find out the verb. The verb given here is in simple future. Hence, what is the structure? The structure is singular plural plus be plus past participle. Now what will be the answer? Now what will be the passive form? A song will be sung by him. A song, when we reduce into personal number, it, since it is third person singular, we use will, then be as it is given there in the structure. Then past participle of the verb sing is sung. Sing, sang, sung. So past participle is sung. The answer is a song will be sung by him. And here is an exercise for you under simple future. First sentence, Usha will write many letters. My parents will do that work. Rahul will buy fruits. Sindhu will play music. John will file a case. Will write, will do, will buy, will play, will file. So all these are simple futures. So change those simple futures into passive form with the examples that have been explained in the above sentences. The fourth division is present continuous. Continuous means using ing. He is the subject, he is bringing is the verb, a book is the object. Now subject, verb, object, three elements you have got. The minimum requirements to change from active into passive. Next, what is the second step to be followed? The second step is to change the subject into object, then object as subject. That is the second step you have to follow. The third step is you have to find out what type of verb it is. Since the verb given here is in present continuous, what is the structure to be followed? Structure is singular plural plus being plus past participle. That is the structure. The answer is a book is being brought by him. A book, when you reduce into the personal number, it becomes singular. That is it, third person. So the verb has to be singular. Is, it is. Then being as it is, you have to use brought. Bring, brought, brought. Past participle of the verb bring is brought. So the answer is a book is being brought by him. Another example for present continuous. He is subject. He is singing. Verb. A song. Object. So subject, verb, object. That is the first step you have to do. The second step is change the subject into object. Object into subject. Third step is to identify the verb. Here the given verb is in present continuous form. So what will be the structure? The structure is singular plural plus being plus past participle. The answer is a song is being sung by him. A song, again, when we reduce into the personal number, it becomes it, a third person singular. So the verb has to be in singular. Then being as given in the structure we have to use. Finally, the past participle of the verb sing is sung. Sing, sang, sung. So the answer is a song is being sung by him. Now next is the exercise for present continuous. He is playing football. The mason is building a wall. Sita is presenting a gift. They are eating mangoes. The boys are watching the cricket match. He is playing, he is building, he is presenting, are eating, are watching. They're all continuous, present continuous forms. Use the previous examples which have been given for present continuous and then write the answers for these. The fifth division is the past continuous. He, subject, was bringing, verb, a book, object. So the first step is find the subject, verb, object. Next, the second step is change the positions of the subject into object, object to subject. That is the second step you have to follow. Next, the third step is identify the verb which is given in the sentence in the form of active. Here was bringing is in the past continuous. Hence, the structure to be followed is singular plural plus being plus past participle. And the answer is a book was being brought by him. A book, when you reduce the subject into personal number, it becomes it. Since it is in singular, the verb has to be in singular. Next, being as given in the structure. And finally, you have got past participle. For the word bring, the past participle is brought. Hence, we get the answer, a book was being brought by him. Another example for past continuous. He, subject, was singing, verb, a song, object. So again, the first step is find the subject, verb and object. Then the second step is reverse the positions of subject into object, object into subject. That is the second step we have to follow. Then the third step is identify the verb. The verb is in past continuous. Since the verb is in past continuous, then we need to follow a structure. And what is the structure to be followed? Singular plural plus being plus past participle. So the answer for the passive voice is a song was being sung by him. Number, we get it, third person singular. So the verb also must be in singular. Then as per the structure, we have to use being. Then finally, we have to change the verb into past participle. Sing, sang, sung. Sung is the past participle of the verb sing. So we get the answer, a song was being sung by him. Exercise for you in this past continuous. He was drinking some juice. She was reading a book. We were playing chess. Our manager was filing the papers. Kirti was peeling an orange. So we have got the verbs here: was drinking, was reading, were playing, was filing, was peeling. All these are verbs for past continuous. Use the previous examples which I showed for past continuous and then write the answers in the similar manner. Sixth division is present perfect. We don't have passive form for future continuous. So present perfect, he, subject, has brought, verb, a book, object. So again, subject, verb, object, we have identified the three elements in this active form. And what is the next step? The second step is change the subject into object and then make the object as the subject. That is the second step you have to follow. The third step we need to think of is what type of verb it is. Has brought is in present perfect. So when the verb is in present perfect, what is the structure to be followed to change from active into passive? Singular plural plus been plus past participle. Now here is the answer. A book has been brought by him. When we say a book, the subject, when you reduce that, again we get it as the subject, which is the third singular. So the verb has to be has. Then as per the structure, been. Then past participle of the verb brought is again brought. Hence the answer is a book has been brought by him. Example for the same present perfect. He, subject, has sung, verb, a song, object. So first step is find the subject, verb, object. Then what is the second step? Change the positions of subject to object, object as subject. Then the third step is identify the verb, what type of verb it is. Has sung, he is in present perfect form. So when that is the case, what is the structure? Singular plural plus been plus past participle. Now what should be the answer in the passive form? A song has been sung by him. A song, again when you reduce, it becomes the third person singular, it. Then the verb also has to be has. It has been as given in the structure. Then past participle you are given there. Sing, sang, sung. So sung again is the past participle form of the verb sing. Hence the answer is a song has been sung by him. Exercise for this present perfect. He has drawn a picture. Anil has seen that cinema. They have won the match. She has painted her house. We have visited the zoo. So has drawn, has seen, have won, has painted, have visited. All these are verbs which indicate that they are in the present perfect form. Now use the previous examples which I gave to change from active into passive. All these are in active form. Change them into passive. Write only 2 answers and send to me. Next, Seventh division is past perfect. He is subject, had brought verb, a book is the object. So first step is identify the subject, verb and object. Then the second step is change the positions of subject to object place and then object to the subject place. That is the second step you have to follow. Third step is you have to identify the verb had brought. What type of verb is this had brought? It is in the past perfect form. So what is the structure to be followed to change from active into passive? Had plus been plus past participle. So the answer is a book had been brought by him. A book is the subject. When you reduce that, we get it, the third person singular, but no problem. Had is the same for all, whether singular or plural. Had is the verb in the passive voice. Then been as given in the structure, and then the past participle of the verb brought is again brought. Hence, a book had been brought by him is the answer for this sentence. Again, another example for past perfect. He is subject, had sung, verb, a song, object. That is the first step, subject, verb and object. Then the second step is change the positions of subject into object, then object to subject place. Then the third step is find out the verb had sung is in past perfect form. And what is the structure for this? Had plus been plus past participle. So what will be the answer in the passive voice? A song had been sung by him. A song, again, when you reduce into personal number, we get it, which is the third person singular, and had as given there, been as given the structure, past participle for the verb sing is sung again. So the answer is a song had been sung by him. Now here is the exercise for you to change to passive. The pulsar had overtaken the scooty. She had taught the lesson. Stalin had written a test. Harini had attended the class. The baby had drunk milk. Had overtaken, had taught, had written, had attended, had drunk. All these are in the past perfect form. So change these sentences into passive voice with the models which I gave earlier. Previous to these sentences, I gave the model. So follow that and then write the answers. The eighth one is future perfect. He is the subject. Will have brought is the verb. A book is the object. So again, subject, verb, object. The second step is to change the positions of subject and object. And then the third step, find out what is the verb. Will have brought is the future perfect. And then the structure for that is to change to a passive form. Singular plural plus have been plus past participle. Answer is a book will have been brought by him. Since the book is in third person singular it, we have to use will. For third person singular, we have to use will. And as given in the structure, have been, use the same have been. Next, past participle of the verb brought is brought alone. Hence the answer, a book will have been brought by him. Another example for future perfect. He, subject, will have sung, verb, a song, object. That is the first step, subject, verb, object. Second step is change the positions of subject into object, object as subject. Then the third step is find out the verb will have sung is in future perfect. Hence we need to have the structure as singular plural plus have been plus past participle. So the passive answer is a song will have been sung by him. Since a song is in third person singular it, we have to use will, and as per the structure, have been we have to use, then past participle for the word sung is sung only. Hence again, a song will have been sung by him is the. Then the exercise for future perfect. She will have worn the chain. He will have caught the ball. The boys will have spread the news. They will have killed a snake. I shall have borrowed a pen. So will have owned, will have caught, will have spread, will have killed, shall have borrowed. So all these are in future perfect. So the examples which I gave, look at them, understand, then write the answers for these sentences to passive voice. Okay, that's all for today. You have learned the method to change from active into passive. So if you can follow this method, you can surely be able to answer not only in the exam alone, even for your life. You can follow the same method to write sentences, paragraphs, or even essays. So how to change from active into passive? The steps have been given. Write these steps or keep these steps in your mind or write somewhere in a notebook so that you can, when you go for the other exams, after finishing your higher studies, you may be asked to do some exams. So that time you will come across with this voice also. So it will be useful for you. Hope you understood well and expecting the answers from you. See you then. Thank you. Bye.